Hey everyone, welcome to NoLife TV podcast. This is Major Problems along with I'm Wheezy Gaming and Cave Ferret, and today we'll be talking about gaming and what we like to game on. So, how you guys feeling today?
I'm doing good.
Doing good.
All right.
It's a lovely Sunday morning when we're recording this.
I've been playing games on my PC, the correct platform to play games on.
As have I.
Oh, that's a bit controversial starting off.
I mean, is it controversial with the way 2021's been going and 2020? Everyone's just been transferring to PC gaming. 3080's impossible to find. Any sort of like graphics card or PC upgrades are pretty hard to find right now.
I got a 3080 and I didn't give my soul to Satan.
Yeah, but you live in like the Ukraine or something. You just got it off the back of a truck, didn't you?
I mean, that's actually toxic. Still true,
kinda
but
racist.
toxic and racist.
Trying to say Ukrainians do nothing but steal.
Well, no, I'm just saying Major Problem does nothing but steal.
That's still toxic and true. I don't like where this conversation is going with you.
Well, you said it was true though. Can you tell us a little more about the things that you've stolen in your life?
Yeah, can you give us
I
a
mean-
detailed list?
Well, let's just start by saying maybe my name was not Major Problems when I was born. I just found this ID at one point in my life, and I just rolled with it. And I
Okay.
basically replaced somebody's life.
So identity theft, I like it. So you came out the womb stealing.
Yes,
Okay.
and I also stole the womb when I was born.
And the womb,
My mother.
okay.
So you took the whole
she didn't
womb
have
with
any
you?
more children afterwards.
Took the whole womb
Hmm?
with him.
Wow, that's kind of toxic.
So would you make the argument you stole your mother's life as well?
No, just her womb.
Just the womb, okay. Okay,
yes.
so she survived you ripping her womb out of her body, but
I mean, I didn't rip it. It was just there. Like, she wasn't going to use it. Like, what was she going to use it for? She
I don't know.
already
I
had
mean,
me.
this is kind of sounding like a whole Konosuba scenario where you're just able to take anything.
Wasn't this podcast about what kind of consoles we like or gaming, like where we play video
Oh,
games?
yeah.
Maybe we should
No,
get back to
no.
that.
I think I'm a little more interested in how he's stealing a womb without, any sort of medical detail with it. He
And
just
at the age
takes
of
it.
0 years old.
Yeah, he came out. Yeah, okay, that is another good point. You said that you stole the womb, but I also said that you came out the womb stealing. So did you ever actually leave the womb? Be honest.
I mean, have you guys actually seen my apartment? Where do you think I'm living right now?
Oh shit! So it's like a genie's lamp.
Yes, sir.
He's been in the womb for many, many millennia.
Yeah.
And like, people, instead of knocking on my door or ringing my doorbell, they just rub the womb, and I come out like the Aladdin genie.
I like it.
That's,
All right.
That's not a very good visual.
So, what are your thoughts on like gaming on different platforms? Do you
I mean,
like
for
it?
me-
Do you have experience with it? What?
I mean, I think it's more of what level of gaming are you comfortable with? Because I think all the platforms achieve something that the other platform doesn't. Except for PC, which basically has it all. But on real note,
Well, it doesn't have mobility.
like, that's true. PC doesn't have the mobility. Nintendo Switch, I think, almost got it right. Like, the PC titles and the mobility.
What PC
but-
titles does Nintendo Switch have?
Like Rocket League, Skyrim. There are a lot of PC titles that are being ported to the Switch.
Those are
Skyrim was
all
never a
console
PC
titles.
title. Well, Rocket League, I would make the argument was more of a PC title, but Skyrim was initially released exclusively on console.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know that. I've never played Skyrim, to be honest.
You've never played Skyrim, and you're calling yourself a gamer. You sit here every day and say, I'm a gamer, and you haven't played Skyrim. I feel like that's kind of a...
So this is the
Conundrum.
podcast. This is Major Problems' last podcast with us.
You've been kicked off the team, homie.
This is No Life
Get the
TV
fuck outta
podcast,
here.
and you haven't played Skyrim, the most no lifing game. Well, maybe
In
not the
my
most, but one of the most popular No Life games ever
You
to be like played.
Yeah, you can't call yourself a gamer if you haven't spent 30 hours standing behind the same person, murdering them over and over again until you max out your sneak.
In my defense, I never called myself a gamer. That's the only argument that I can make here.
Is
Yeah.
that right?
I mean, you're a
Like
part of a
I've tried it
gamer
once,
podcast.
and I've tried it once, and I thought it was boring, and I stopped playing it.
He gets through he just does the intro to Skyrim, and he's like, "This is boring."
Yeah, he's not even out the loading screen, dude. Like, he literally launches the game, saw the tooltips, and said, "This fucking sucks," and left.
No, he just woke up, and then he was like, "Oh, you're awake, aren't you?" And he left.
Yeah, it's like the intro. Oh, you're awake now, and I just said, "Nah, I'm sleeping." Alt F4 bitch uninstall.
All right, so your point with the Switch, how it's kind of going in the right direction, yeah?
I mean, kind of, but not really, because it's still clunky. Like, it still doesn't feel as smooth as PC would feel. Like, I played, let's say, Rocket League both on the Switch and on PC, and Rocket League on Switch is like trying to tear down a house with a fucking screwdriver.
My thing for Switch is like, it's supposed to be mobile, but like when I'm playing it, it is not comfortable in my hands, like for long periods of time.
Well, it's definitely big. Like, bigger than I would expect something for my small Asian hands to be able to grasp, right?
Right.
How did we go?
I don't know how we ended up there, but apparently that's where we went.
What do you mean? You said it was clunky. I'm assuming that you meant like it was clunky because it just doesn't feel comfortable in your hands.
Yeah, but like, why does it have to be Asian hands? Why can't it just be hands in general?
Because my hands are Asian. That's why I said it feels uncomfortable for my Asian hands that are tiny and can't quite reach the joystick on both sides. All right?
You know, that's racist towards people who don't have hands.
It's
Like,
my people, all right?
That's handist.
Wait, it's your people? You said you
It's
have
my
hands.
people. No, I cut my hands off because I was so sick and tired of not being able to play on the Switch.
But if you have small hands, how are you playing on a PC? You know, you got to have decent reach on a keyboard.
Mini keys.
Oh, that's true. They have different size keyboards.
Yep. That's another reason PC gaming is better.
Yeah, I have
You can just knock the stump on
keyboard.
Asian people are allowed to play. Woo!
Well, to be fair, I think Asian people are the biggest demographics of people who buy Nintendo Switch.
I mean, isn't Nintendo an Asian company?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would make sense. I mean,
So why didn't they make something for your small hands?
Well, the thing about that is like maybe because I've never gotten a Nintendo Switch specifically from Asia. Maybe in Asia they have a smaller version of it and they just market the bigger version towards Americans.
They have a Nintendo Switch XL just for Americans.
Well, in you know the Asian countries, maybe it'd be considered XL, but in America it's just normal, right?
Ah, I see. You know, that's good marketing right there. So we should have a podcast normal here, and then like a podcast XL in Asia.
Mm-hmm. No, a podcast XS in Asia, right? You got to do the opposite conversion.
Okay, we got to have an extra small podcast, so we'll just cut the podcast in half.
Yeah, no. We'll just do the intro clip and then
intro and outro, and that's enough. Yeah.
Intro, commercial, outro. That's even better.
Ooh, yeah.
We gotta add the commercial. There's got to be the commercial.
Hope you guys have been enjoying the podcast so far. It's time for a short commercial break. Have you guys ever been sitting there grinding day and night, eating your hot Cheetos and drinking your Mountain Dew, bored out of your mind with no one to talk to and nothing to listen to? Well, do we have the solution for you? The three of us on the NoLife TV podcast also stream on Twitch, so be sure to check out our channels. So the next time your mom says, "Go outside, you're wasting your life," grab your cell phone, find a nice shady tree to sit under, and hop back on the internet to watch us play the games that you can't. Alright. So what's the topic? What are we talking about here?
We're talking about where we play video games. And like I was saying, so I do like the Nintendo Switch. That's a fun game, like a fun console. I love to play Mario Kart on it because me and my friends can both have one controller, And we can play Burial in any setting because we can take the Switch and just put it down wherever and Burial it up with these little wireless controllers. And I think that is something cool about the Switch.
I mean, yeah, but if these games were offered on PC, would you not rather play them on your computer?
Well, no, you can't play Burial like by yourself. You gotta
Well,
play
no,
Burial in
but like,
person.
yeah, even in person, because you can just sit around your computer and with your controllers and stuff and play it on PC if the game was offered on PC.
No, but I don't want to play Burial in my room. I want to be like playing Burial wherever I'm at, you know?
Well, you can
I
move
might
your computer to like the dining
The
room or the
plane.
living room, wherever you're at. I mean, we have HDMI cables on our desktops, and moving a desktop isn't really that hard for people other than me because most people don't have scrawny baby arms, right? So
Well,
you can just kind of move your computer the same as you'd move a Switch with about the same amount of effort.
but what if I'm going to my friend's house and he doesn't have a desktop?
Well, then he should get a desktop,
Oh, well, that
Like,
seems
what the
kind
fuck is
of
even doing at this point?
right? Like,
rude. Like, hey, we can't play video games until you get a desktop.
I mean, well,
Um,
we are arguing the fact. Well, I'm arguing the fact that PC is better. So if he has a console to play Mario Kart on, but it was offered on PC, then why not just get a PC and play Mario Kart on that instead?
I mean,
Because like I'm making the argument that playing the game on PC is better, not the fact that like
but I can't take my PC into the park to play Burial
why not?
because where am I going to plug it in?
I mean, where are you gonna plug in your Switch?
I don't plug it in. It has a battery.
I
I
mean,
guess you could argue a laptop, but I mean,
but
it'd be
didn't you
kinda,
just say that like the mobile version of like the Switch is clunky and not comfortable?
if you're
So
playing it as a single person. But
what do
when
you
you
mean?
take
What
the
does multiple people make it less clunky? Is it because you've got more hands holding the fucking brick up?
No, because you don't have to hold the brick up when you have two people. Because
But you
the
have to
Switch,
hold it up by yourself.
listen. So the Switch has two controllers. And when you're playing a single game, it's just intuitive that you're going to want to have the controllers attached to the screen. But when you're playing
Why?
multiplayer, it's less intuitive to do it that way because you have a friend there to hold the other controller. Because I don't want just like two separate controllers in my hand in the air. Like that just feels weird.
But
But when
don't
I
they
have
have
one
like that
controller, it feels.
gamepad connector? They have that outside option already. So if it's clunky to use, then just use the controller add-on that they have. And if you don't want to use the controller add-on that you have, then it's arguably just more comfortable to use a fucking computer.
I don't know if that's true.
Like, what if you had just like a gaming laptop, right? And then you hooked up controllers into that. Laptops have batteries. Laptops aren't as uncomfortable to use. Plus, you have an actual controller that you're able to play it on. Like, instead of Nintendo's like weird controller, you can have like an actual controller that you just plug into your laptop. Now you don't have to hold the entire thing, and it's still just a controller. Plus, you're making the argument that you enjoy playing this with friends, but you're also trying to make the argument that you want to play it by yourself. Like, which one do you actually prefer in that scenario? You said you
Well,
want
I'm
to play
saying I
Mario
don't like
Kart,
to
so you
play it
should
by myself.
right.
Like if I'm
So
playing Burial, I want to play with my friends. Whereas if I'm playing like Pokemon, I want to play by myself. See what
like,
I'm
can't you
saying?
just get like an emulator?
I mean, for Burial, like I can't have
No,
the
there is
controller
no
then.
emulator for Nintendo Switch. No, there is no emulator for Nintendo
No,
Switch. That's the
I'm
beauty of
talking
it.
for I'm talking for Pokemon.
Well, Pokemon,
Well,
I wouldn't mind
Pokemon is
playing on
on.
like my PC. But like,
Well, yeah, but like if
I'm
we're
saying
talking the
if I
latest
have a
Pokemon, which
Switch,
is
you can
now
play
go
the
ahead.
latest Pokemon on emulators. I'm pretty sure.
No, you can't. Trust me, I've tried it.
He's like, I tried
No,
so hard.
Yeah,
And
I
got
actually
so
tried it because I
far.
didn't want to buy it on the Switch. I wanted to play. I actually wanted to play single player Pokemon, but like the
That's
emulators are actual garbage.
But anyways, back to Mario Kart. I don't know. There's just an experience with the Switch that makes Burial better. Like I can't see playing it on like my laptop.
But is that just because it's not offered on the laptop?
Well, no, because I'd have to get like controllers and stuff, and then you'd have to have like 2 controllers for your laptop. And
But
like,
you already have controllers. Because to me, it sounds like the whole reason you're not
but I can't
comfortable
hook up
with
the controllers to my laptop, the Switch controllers.
right because you're not allowed to. But what if you could?
I mean, then it would be fine. Like that'd be chill.
Right.
But I'm
So the
not
whole
allowed to.
reason that you would rather use a Switch is because the companies are not allowing us to use our computers. It's not because the Switch is better. It's because we're literally barred from using it on our computer, and that's
Well,
the only reason it's better.
Look, if everything could be on a laptop, then yeah, I'm arguing laptops all the way.
Right. So why
Except
can't
for the
it
one-
be like that?
Except for one thing, that when you get like a console, the games are specifically designed to work at their best possible performance on the console. Whereas if you have a PC, it's based on like your graphics card and all that. So you might not be able to get the best performance out of a game from your like $600 PC versus your $300 Switch.
Wait, so the general consensus of this discussion is that laptops are the ultimate gaming platform if you buy 2 controllers.
Mm-hmm. The
And
be
if
all
you-
end all of gaming
And
is
if you buy a
using
very
laptop.
expensive laptop.
Well, I'm gonna be the first to say it. I think this is the first 3-man party that have gathered around and have found this consensus to be true, because laptops are ultimately the trashiest thing that you
Oh
can
yeah,
play a
no,
game on.
I hate playing video games on laptops. I had to play Black Desert on my laptop when I was in California for a month, and it was so shitty. The only thing that I could do was launch the game, put my character in autopilot mode, and then close the game. Like
That's
it
what I'm
just
saying. You'd
minimized
have
the
to have
frame rate.
like
It was
an
like
expensive
actually awful.
laptop.
Yeah,
Like if you had like a
But-
$3,000 laptop that has really good cooling and like a detachable keyboard and mouse, like yeah, it would be great.
I mean at that point that'd just be a desktop. I'd argue.
Yeah, if you have a laptop that
You're
just
just driving a
transforms into a
PC.
desktop.
But it would be more mobile.
It'd be more mobile. What's not mobile about like an actual desktop though?
But it doesn't have a
used to go to.
battery.
I mean, yeah, you need a power source for it. That's fine, but
I'm
I
just
don't
gonna
know,
take a
personally-
generator everywhere I go.
personally,
I mean,
I don't
for
want to
me-
go outside when I'm playing games. If I'm playing video games, I prefer to be somewhere where there's electricity already. Like the farthest I'm gonna go when I'm playing video games is to my backyard where there's outlets. You know,
Well, that's because you don't leave your house.
it has nothing to do with me not leaving my house. If I'm going outside,
Do you
to
leave your
have
house?
fun. Yes. If
Oh,
I'm
I
going
guess.
outside to have fun, then I'm going like not to play video games. If I want to have fun playing video games, I'm not leaving my house. But if I want to have fun with friends, why am I barring myself with the use of video games when if I want to play video games with my friends, we'll all just sit at our houses or maybe make a LAN party at one of their houses.
No, the one thing about like desktop gaming that's really great is you can play with anyone from anywhere across the world, and you can like Discord stream and stuff like that at the same time. So you have good audio quality and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, no, I don't know about good audio quality. I've heard a lot of people with really shit mics on Discord.
Well, yeah, but that I mean, you have the potential for very good audio quality.
I mean, yeah, but
If you buy Nitro.
if you buy Nitro, yeah.
Hey, I buy Nitro, man. That's how come I can upload 100 megabytes.
Not sponsored, by the way.
Not
This
sponsored yet.
podcast is not sponsored by Discord Nitro, but we'd be much
Yet.
obliged if you did want to sponsor us.
Yet.
Yet. Anyways, so
Like, the
what
beauty
about
of the
mobile gaming?
consoles
Like,
is-
what about playing games on your phone
Well-
that like aren't available on PC?
But before we get into that, I kind of wanted to bring up a good point that Wizzy made is the cost effectiveness of a PC versus a console. Because when it comes to a console, kind of like he said, they're specifically designed to be ran like with those games, right? They should be able to support any console game you buy for it, right? Like I go to fucking Walmart, GameStop, I buy a PS3 exclusive game and I bring it home, put it in, and I'm ready to play. if I'm browsing Steam, I'm going and I'm looking, all right, can my computer even handle this game? What are the recommended graphics, stuff like that? I don't have to take the time on that I do on PC to determine whether or not the game's actually playable, because I just trust that the console has what's required to be able to play the game since it's standardized. And I think that is something that consoles do well. But on the flip side of that, you can also make the argument that because of that, there's not as much customization. So basically, by choosing a console, you're giving up customization and freedom to play on the console for the guarantee that you're going to be able to play every game. Whereas PC, you've got the freedom to mix and match parts, get the best parts, sometimes, get worse parts as a sacrifice for different parts for your computer, to play these different types of games. But it's a little bit more expensive to be able to play everything.
I mean, you're also
But to be
giving
fair,
up.
when was the last time you guys checked your components to see if you can run a game? Like,
Well, that's
actually.
that's the other thing. Most people can't afford like an $1,800 gaming PC that can run basically everything. But
Right.
some
Like,
dude's
you
got
mean-
like a $400 laptop and he has to check literally every spec to make sure his game can run.
And to answer Major's question, the last time I checked my computer, the specs on my computer to see if I could run a game was yesterday. Because recently I have been encountering FPS issues and stuff like that, playing some of the games that I've been wanting to play. So now I'm actually focusing, like, can my computer actually handle it while also being able to continue streaming?
Well, that's a different topic. I mean,
It's-
I'm talking about people who just use their PCs to game. Like, if you're
It's
talking about streaming and playing the game, like, I think we can all agree that the best possible thing is to have a separate computer for streaming. But I'm talking about just running a game.
I
'Cause,
mean,
like, back in the day, we used to.
one of my best friends has like a $300 laptop, and literally any game he wants to ever play, he has to look at all the specs. Like he tried to play Civ 6 and he had to turn all the specs to minimum, absolute minimum to be able to play, period. And even then,
Like,
it
that's
took him like an
$300
hour to
laptop.
log in. But that's what we're saying.
Like
A $300 laptop versus a $300 console. Like, anything you put in a $300 console, it's going to run.
Yeah, but like if we're talking a $200 PC against a $300 console, you're still gonna be able to run almost everything on low specs, of course, but you will still be able to play the game.
Yeah, but on like a $400 PS4 or PS5, you can run literally anything in like 8K.
I'm not sure that that's completely true, but um, you're
I mean,
still gonna need
PS5
a
runs
TV
anything you
for
put.
that.
The PS5 is like $500, and literally anything. Most of the games I think are 8K compatible for it.
Have you
And
ever tried to play something on PS on more than 2K?
Well, I mean, it just auto puts it to the max value. I was playing on my
I mean,
PS4 in 4K.
Yeah, but you're playing in 30 FPS. Like,
Well,
are you
I
gonna
think,
settle for 30 FPS even
I
if you
mean,
play in, let's say, 4K?
but if you have a $400 computer, you're not even, or a $500 computer, you're not even going to be able to play 1080p 60 FPS.
That's I'm gonna call cap on that one.
It depends on the game. Like if you're playing Call of Duty, there's no way you're playing 1080p 60 FPS on like a cheap computer.
On low settings, I'm gonna call cap.
Well, on
Like,
low
I think
settings,
whenever we think about a game, we insta think of medium to high settings. But like a game to be playable, you don't need to run it in the best quality.
but I'm saying a
But-
console's always running its best possible quality.
Right. I mean, in one of the articles that you specifically linked us, they state that when you buy a console, it remains the same throughout its life cycle. So games released at launch and games released shortly before the replacement of the console are going to be playable with, the configuration intended, the regular settings, stuff like that. But with PCs, you have to check about the minimum configuration as to whether or not you can just buy it and play it. You're getting consistent quality in your games every time you buy one for the console, as opposed to the PC, the quality could change depending on the game and potentially ruin your experience. Like, I remember a very specific circumstance I had when I really found out that I need a gaming PC was when I tried to play Diablo 3 when it was very first released. I checked the minimum requirements on it, and my dad's laptop was able to handle the minimum requirements for it. So I got the game, I loaded up on his laptop. 2 days later, I like sorry, let me take a step back first. So I loaded up on his game and things like that, and technically the game ran. But every single input that I made into the game had like a 3 second delay on it. Right? It was super frame rate. I'd walk into a town, nothing would load for the first 5 minutes. And that's when I was like, all right, well, I need like an actual PC to play this game that I bought. And that's when I got one and noticed the actual difference. So even though technically I had the minimum specs, it ruined the game for me for the time that I was playing it on the minimum specs until I got an actual PC that could handle the game on recommended settings. But a console, I wouldn't have had to do that. I have a PS3, Diablo 3 gets released on the PS3, I go and buy it, I slap it in the game, and I'm playing it. I don't have to go buy the PS4 for it.
And it looks good. But I will say,
you're going against what you were saying. So you do admit that console is the better choice then?
no, I think overall, PC is always going to be superior. Like, PC will dumpster a PS5 any day if you have a good PC. And if you can afford a good PC.
I'm not going against what I'm saying in the sense that I still think PC is better, because if I had the specs for it, when I got the PC, I can run it at higher graphics and settings than I would be able to do it on a console, because consoles are standardized. But there is a benefit to standardization in the industry, right? Because I don't have to worry about not being able to run a game super efficiently on a console, but I'm capped out. I can't make that console better. I can't get higher graphics, higher frame rates, higher things like that on the console, because I can't just go in and be like, this graphic card sucks, let me open this up, slap a new one in there, boom, I'm good to go. On a PC, you have that creative liberty, that freedom to throw whatever you want and or need into your PC. If you have the ability to do that, it's better, in my opinion. But the benefit of console is you don't have to. So I'm just saying that there's pros and cons.
Like, so most 14-year-olds.
If I got this straight. Like, so the console is the best choice for a budget gamer. But if we remove the budget part of your gaming preference, then PC is the superior choice.
I wouldn't even go as far to say it's the best choice for a budget gamer. I think it's definitely the consistent choice for a budget gamer. If you buy the console for $300, you get consistency out of it. But you can make a good PC that can run the games you want to play on it for a budget as well.
And just the versatility of a PC.
It's not
makes up for the budget. And that's where the budget comes in, is just how versatile a PC is. Like, on a console, like, you really can't do that much else than play video games. Whereas on a PC, I can edit videos, I can record a podcast, I can use Discord, which I don't doubt consoles won't be able to do in like years to come. But I can easily open a web browser, notepad, all sorts of stuff.
Well, I'm pretty sure consoles had the first method of game communication when it came to voice. So pre-Discord, TeamSpeak, Skype, whatever there was, like when Xbox Live first came out, you could talk to other people on your Xbox through Xbox Live. So that, I believe, I'm not sure, somebody will correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I think that was the actual first form of player-to-player communication without requiring like a third-party tool. So I think consoles actually brought that to the game.
I think I believe PS2 had a. Well, I guess yeah. You're talking Xbox. PS2 came out at the same time.
Yeah, like that period of time.
But what I was gonna say is, dang, I forgot what I was gonna say. On the terms of like where consoles were to where they are now, definitely back 10 years ago, it was always the better choice to buy a console. There's no doubt. PC gaming wasn't that evolved. You really couldn't play any console games on your PC before. So like if you got a PC, you were playing like RuneScape or some MMOs. You weren't playing like the newest Call of Duty for the most part. Because one, you needed a really good computer to run it. And two, even if you did, almost everyone else was on console. But now it's a little more affordable to get a gaming PC. A lot more people, cross-play is now a thing, so you can play with all your friends who are on like PS4, PS5, Xbox, whatever. So now it's just more of a what has the most bang for your buck. And like if you're willing to spend an expensive buck, you're going to get the most bang out of a PC.
Well, I'm not entirely. I don't agree with you entirely because I don't think the consistency of the games is what brings consoles as a contender to the best platform. I think it's actually the exclusives that draw a lot of people to the consoles. Like
Yeah, but
the
most of
best.
those exclusives aren't exclusive to console anymore.
I mean, I totally disagree with you. Name me 3 Nintendo games that you can play on your PC.
I was going to
Like
say, except for
actual.
Nintendo.
I mean,
Except
you know,
Nintendo.
you can put
Uh,
Nintendo out. Like
you can
Nintendo
play a
is a
lot of the
player.
older Nintendo games on your PC with emulators and stuff. And as they go out of date, obviously they get added to the emulators, but you can't really play new Nintendo games on your PC. But PS5 and Xbox games, uh, they both are PC compatible, even for exclusives.
I mean, that's a lie. PS5 exclusives as Demon Souls is not available for PC. Like there are a lot of exclusives for the PS5 which you cannot play on literally any other platform except for the PS5. They're not even backwards compatible with the PS4,
I
but
think
they will be
a lot of them are compatible with PC. No, not
the
necessarily
exclusives.
everyone.
No, I'm talking
Uh,
about the exclusives.
like all the Xbox exclusives are available on
I
PC.
Well, yeah, because they're Xbox. I mean, they're literally
And
the
I
same
think
thing as
some
the
of the
PCs.
PS5 exclusives are available on PC through their PS Now app, and like they have other apps that I believe, but I could be wrong.
You also have to take into consideration that there are also PC exclusives, right? So
Oh, there's
console doesn't
tons
hold
of
the
PC exclusives.
exclusivity of, these games. If you want to play, like, again, this is going off of the article that Major linked. A lot of gambling games, for example, so blackjack, roulette, slots, stuff like that, you are generally more exclusive to PCs. You're not going to find it like a gambling simulator on your console, right? And things like that. So yeah, consoles have some exclusive titles, some AAA titles that you can only play on console, but that doesn't mean PC's behind the curve. They also have exclusives. They also have things that are only playable on the PC. So if we're talking about exclusivity, yeah, that is something to take into consideration. Like if the only reason you want to play a video game is to exclusively play a Nintendo game, then get a fucking console because you're not going to play it on PC. But if you are looking for them at the bigger picture as far as gaming is concerned, there's exclusives on both sides, and PC in general just has more variety of games that you can play.
The other thing about PC is there's so many PC exclusives that are just like early access and super cheap, and that you can get to before like they go out and get mainstreamed and like become like you have to pay the $60 for the game. Like there's so many $5 games I've bought on PC that are just so much fun, and like they're just like maybe a one and done play, but I only paid $5 for it instead of like the $60 for a brand new game coming off of like a console.
Yeah, but is that variety better though?
I mean, I think variety is always better.
I disagree with that.
What, you don't like
Why?
variety?
If you open no look like hear me out. If you open Steam right now and you see like the 500 pages of games that you can search from and download them, like you're looking for the for the needle in the haystack. Like you ain't gonna find something good unless it's top popular recommended, which is cross-platform most of the times. But when it comes to console gaming, and I'm looking at Nintendo right now, I'm not talking about PS or Xbox. You won't find that level of quality on PC. Like let's take Animal Crossing or Super Smash Bros. Or Zelda or Pokemon. Like those are just for games on top of my mind that you can barely find any PC games that have the same impact in variety
But could I
and
also
also
say,
make hundreds of millions of dollars
can I also,
from sales.
can I also say though how amazing Steam sales are? When
And
I
Steam
go through
sales are
Steam
what we
and
live
just see a
for.
bunch of cheap games for nothing, and a lot of the times it's like the mainstream games that go get put on sale. And like,
Well, yeah,
yeah, I
because
mean, Nintendo games are kind of like the outskirt. Nintendo kind of gets everyone. Like you have to buy a Nintendo if you want to play Nintendo games. But outside of that, you're pretty like free to play whatever you want, like on PC. And eventually everything gets to PC. Like your Nintendo will never ever like get some Xbox games or some like PS4 games.
but
But
that's
your
true.
PC will get
Like
everything in time.
nah, that's cap. You
Name
still cannot play some Nintendo games. What do you want me to name, Wheezy?
I'm saying in time, like after like 5 years, everything gets put onto PC just about.
Well, let me do a quick search then.
I mean,
So,
I still
interesting.
kind of I kind of fundamentally disagree with the fact that like variety is a bad thing. I think that you know a lot of the fun from gaming can also come from playing the absolute shitters, like Granny. That's a fucking awful game. Mr. Krabs overdoses on ketamine. Fucking stupid game. Like there's some real poo poo stinkies on the internet that you can play, but that's where, in my opinion, a lot of the fun from PC gaming comes in. I go through the Steam store and I just go look at all these really stupid games. I see one that just looks completely atrocious. Get a couple of my buddies. We all download the game for like $1.30, which I can guarantee you're not going to find an Xbox game for $1.30. We play that for 3 hours, have the time of our life, and then immediately refund it, get our money back for less than the price of a movie, for more entertainment than a movie could ever get us. I know we're not really talking about movies, but the point is, even though there's the variety causes a lot of these crappy games to be released, it doesn't mean they're not fun to play. They're bad games, yeah, I get that, but you can still have fun with them, and the variety and the fact that anything can slip through the cracks when it comes to Steam, honestly, is charming in my opinion. Some of the most fun I've had was playing like this Russian zombie game where all the girls were in a club in bikinis killing zombies, and it was just the stupidest thing. But me and my friends played that for like 3 hours.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Even though, yeah, technically it's not a AAA game. It's a $2 game and is just really crappily made. It was still fun. And if it wasn't for the variety that Steam gives us and PC gaming gives us, I would have never heard of that game that I was able to enjoy for 3 hours.
And could we also
You're
just
comparing.
go ahead?
I mean, you're comparing like a drunk guy in a bar who says stupid jokes and makes you laugh to a comedian. Like Nintendo does the games that they promote their platform on. like when it comes to actual polish and putting in a ton of effort and like just blatantly tons of hours of fun, they still take the cake. Like I'm not saying you can't have fun with stupid ass games which were developed in less than a coffee break, but you won't get tons of hours of fun from them. Like
Well, I mean,
ultimately, it's still gonna be like just a memory of some game we played for 2 hours and then we refunded it.
Yeah, but
I'm
that's
gonna.
not the argument. Like you can also get like AAA games on your PC. They're just not Nintendo.
I'm just saying, the only Nintendo games that I ever had fun with were Pokemon. Outside of that, I have not truly enjoyed a Nintendo game. In fact, it's one of my least favorite games to play. I don't like Mario Kart. I never enjoyed the Zelda games. To
Whoa,
me,
whoa, whoa,
those
whoa,
games
whoa.
weren't fun in the first place. So even using, the fact that Nintendo has these exclusive games for me is not a selling point because I never actually had fun with them outside of Pokemon.
I will say I do love me some Mario Kart.
I
But-
Yes,
mean,
Mario Kart fucking destroys friendships, all right? You get a bunch of your buddies together, there's gonna be a fist fight when you're playing Mario Kart, all right?
like
But
last podcast we were talking about how I'm a psychopath, but you're literally the first person in my life who said I don't enjoy Mario Kart, and I'm starting to doubt your sanity, Cave.
I don't know. I don't like those kind of games. I love a good story, don't get me wrong, but I never had fun with Mario. I thought it was boring. I didn't like the play style. And the same thing goes with Zelda. Breath of the Wild, it was regarded as probably one of the best Zelda games to be released, and I thought it was the most boring thing I've ever seen. I watched an entire playthrough and played it myself, and I was bored the entire time. Whereas, like I said, with some of these really shitters on Steam, I had more fun in those than I did playing some of the Nintendo games.
to be fair, I'm not a huge Zelda fan either. Oh no, a gamer that doesn't like Zelda. Oh my god.
Damn.
got-
I mean, I didn't expect the podcast to turn into this direction. Like, yo, I enjoyed Granny, but I dislike Zelda. I didn't know we were gonna get to this point, but let's go with the fact that every gamer has different taste in what they consider fun, right? So
Yeah.
even though you might get fun out of a $2 game that you can refund, the majority of people will never hear about it. The majority will never play it. And to be fair, I saw the Granny one. I cannot imagine how a person can have fun with that crappy ass game. Like or Mr. Krabs overdoses or SpongeBob Five Nights fucking whatever's.
But
Like
like
for
the
me, that's actually garbage. That's something that a guy who was really high on something did while he was high, and then he got high and played said game.
but
Yeah,
But
and
like god damn it, you guys got me. Uh but it's not just like those games, like I was saying, like other than the small majority of Nintendo games, like you literally have access to almost every game on a PC. Like 99% of games, 99.9% of games you have access to on PC.
well, 99.9 because the games are being developed mostly on PCs.
But I can play the newest Call of Duty. I can play good games like League of Legends or Battlefield.
and
Or-
I
let
think
me let me just bring up like you hold the world record for the Neon Abyss speedrun, right, Major? Would you have ever heard of that game if it wasn't for the variety of PC?
yeah,
Yeah.
because I first heard about it on console.
Do you actually hold a world record?
Well, that argument didn't stand too well. I first heard
Yeah,
about it
no,
on console, and I wanted to speedrun it on console. And then I was like, well, I have a PC. I might as well do it on PC because I can record it at the same time. I could do it with the console as well, but it was way too much of a bother for me to do it. So, yeah.
Do you actually have a world record in a game?
Yeah, do you not
Yeah.
keep up on his YouTube, Wizzy? What the fuck?
He has a YouTube?
Oh my god. Some friend.
I know, right?
I just started it today,
Yeah.
so that's why you might have not heard about it.
Yeah.
Hey guys, make sure you go follow Major Problems on YouTube. It's brand new.
Like right now, I'm just creating the account
He's
right now
making it
as
literally
I'm
this
speaking.
second. The other thing about PC gaming is mods.
Oh, you know what? Nintendo or Neon Abyss is a Nintendo game. That makes sense as to why you would have heard of it.
So
Yeah, I told you.
Yeah,
I was
you
all
got
about.
Nintendo's dick down your throat, so of course you would have heard of it.
so nothing about
What do you
mods,
mean?
guys.
It's like who says he doesn't like Mario games? You're actually a psychopath, Gabe. Like, I love a good story, to be honest, but like Mario fucking sucks. What do you mean Mario has the OG story about a guy who saves a princess?
Yeah, it's not entertaining to me. I didn't like it.
I'm having a hard time accepting that.
Okay.
I'm not.
I don't know. What do I say to that? Like,
I
I'm
don't have
also having
Nintendo's
a
dick.
hard time accepting it.
I don't have Nintendo's dick down my throat. But my first ever game when I was fucking 4 years old, I believe, was Mario. So that was my first encounter with games as a genre. And that's why Nintendo holds like such a special place for me. Because like I remember playing it with my father and being like, yo, dad, I cannot beat this fucking level. You do it. And he was a god at it for some reason.
Well, because he
And
just wasn't
that's
4 years
Nintendo
old.
for me, you know. What
Well,
up?
I feel like that's a pretty constant theme with most people that enjoy Nintendo is that Nintendo was a part of their childhood. I know one of my closest friends, he is a huge Legend of Zelda fan because he only played Legend of Zelda as a kid. I only ever really played Pokemon as a kid. So
Same.
yeah, technically I have exposure to Nintendo, but I didn't play Mario, I didn't play Zelda, so I don't have that nostalgia boner for Nintendo. All I really like is Pokemon, and the reason I like Pokemon wasn't even because of the games, it's because I watched the TV show. So I didn't even associate Pokemon with Nintendo.
Pokemon.
You know?
I don't think nobody did in the days. Like I think I can safely say we all associated with the TV show,
Right.
which was pretty fucking rad at the time.
Yeah, because
So
then you
I
see
think
that Pokemon TV show with the Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all, so true. Now I gotta stop for copyright reasons.
So I think that a lot of people, at least in my experience, obviously I can't speak on behalf of every single person that likes Nintendo, but in my experience, the people that really like Nintendo are the people that played it as a kid, so they have that nostalgia associated with it.
Well, I certainly do. I'm guilty of that fact. I admit. Like I still see Mario in 8 bits.
8-bit. Oh man, imagine. But like I was saying, mods are another really good reason to go PC gaming.
I mean, that's a very good reason to go PC gaming. Like
I mean,
mods, I
I
think can
love
turn a
mods.
shitty game into a really good game.
Dude, mods turn all shitty games into good games because you could do anything with a good mod. Like
I mean,
Skyrim. Oh my god, playing modded Skyrim is so much better than playing regular Skyrim.
y'all might hate me for this one too, but I actually hate mods.
Well, that's because you find computers hard to use.
I don't find computers hard to use. I don't
You're
like
like,
mods.
which folder do I have to drag the mod file in? There's literally a folder that says mods on it.
Is that right?
You
But
click
no,
on the
I
game and it
personally,
says
I'm not a
mods.
fan of mods. I mean, don't get me wrong. I agree with you guys on the fact that mods, are useful and can turn a shitty game into a good game. But if I require a mod to have fun in a game, I'd rather just play a different game. I don't like having to go through the process of installing mods and completely changing the playstyle of the game just to have fun in it.
But it can take a great game,
Now, don't get me
and make
wrong.
it to a great game.
I really love. Okay, well, first of all, if it's already a good game, I don't need mods to make it better. But aside from that, the quality of life mods, in my opinion, are something different. What I don't like about mods is game changing mods, where you turn the dragon from Skyrim into Thomas the Tank Engine, shit like that. Yeah,
Come
it's
on, that's
funny.
hilarious.
It's funny, but it doesn't make the game more fun to me. when I'm playing it, outside of that very first time I see Thomas the Tank Engine, it's just kind of pointless. And to me, I don't like it. But quality of life mods, in my opinion, are super, super nice. I mean, I play Factorio a fair bit, and in Factorio, if you have two pipes next to each other, you can't walk through them. Even though in real life, if you have two pipes next to each other, you just kind of like shimmy your fat ass through. But like in Factorio, if it wasn't for the squeak through mod, then you would not be able to pass those. And if you have a whole line of pipes, you're fucked. Yeah, you gotta run all the way around. It's like a goddamn cliff. Your character can't figure out how the fuck it works. So quality of life mods, I do enjoy in a lot of games because it just makes it a little bit easier to play. But game changing mods, in my opinion, I do not like. I don't think they're fun.
I mean, just look at all the like playability mods have added to like Minecraft and stuff, or even Valheim, and
Yeah, I don't
also
like them.
or Raft,
Well,
like all the quality of life mods.
And
They're
I never
amazing.
modded Raft.
We did mod
But yeah,
Raft,
no, I agree with you that quality of life mods are good. I don't
but
like game changing
but you can't
mods.
differentiate.
You
Like
can.
you have to have mods or no mods at all.
That's not the
no,
case.
It
but
is
like
the case.
quality of life mods should be like something the developer patches with time, depending on the community requirements, right? Like if
Right.
people
Yeah.
say, "Yo, it's stupid and we need this fixed," there shouldn't be a mod for it. Like I think it's the developer's responsibility to make the game more enjoyable as the community asks for quality of life mods. But when it comes to mods that drastically alter the game, like Thomas the Engine or I don't know, the creepers in Minecraft having a big dick, something like that,
Mhm.
like that's on the community to make it themselves.
Right.
Well, what about
Good.
just adding weapon mods like for Minecraft? Like you go to Diamond Sword, Netherite Sword, but before that, like the developer's busy making all these like trying to make the game better or trying to make new games. And like during that time, what are you gonna do? Like just wait till the developer fixes it? No, some dude's gonna mod it and make some cool stuff for it for you to play.
But that's kind of a quality of life thing as opposed to like a game changing thing, right? Like if you're waiting for the developer to fix something and you mod in that fix, that's fine. That's quality of
But
life.
the
But if you're
developer may
literally
never
adding
fix it.
swords, then get a new game. The developers stopped updating your game, dude. That means the game's dead. Find something else to play. I don't know. Like it again. As far as quality of life is concerned, I consider quality of life little things. Like in Minecraft, if like a quality of life mod in Minecraft, the compost bin, how you have to individually put every single fucking seed in the compost bin for it to fill up and then pop out a single bone meal. A nice quality of life mod would be if you right click, it'll auto fill the entire compost bin and then pop it out. So you don't have to sit there clicking for 10 minutes.
See,
But
this
a
is
game changing mod
look,
would be like what?
this is why I don't respect your opinion about mods. Because in Minecraft, all you have to do is put a hopper with a chest on top of a composter and it autofills.
That's fine as well.
But it's like there's ways around things, but like also there's a mod where like you could click everything into that chest with one click.
That's quality of life. Yeah. I would be okay with that kind of a mod. That doesn't change the game. You're not adding fucking red matter armor into the game.
Ooh, but that red matter armor though.
It's broken and actively ruined the server that we played on.
What about the dark matter armor? That one wasn't that broken.
It was still broken. The only reason it wasn't broken is because dragon armor was.
Let's not stir off the subject though. So the thing is, if the game offers you like something to go around the physics and doesn't require a quality of life mod, then why does it need a mod?
I think mods are great just because they can add vitality to games that you were getting bored of. And they can add like new cool stuff just to make them like just amped up a little bit. Like in Valheim, like you might be bored with Valheim because there's no magic in it. And then some dude mods in magic and you're like, oh my God, this is awesome. Now I'm having fun with magic. And you don't necessarily have to have all the mods together like game breaking mods. You can pick and choose your mods in most cases.
I'm gonna go with Tony on this one. Like if the game doesn't provide the basic physics for you to enjoy like the basic mechanics, then you're just better off playing another game at that point.
I don't know. I've had some games where like Civ. Civ is one of those games. I guess but if you have quality of life changing mods, there's always going to be other mods. You can't like have quality of life changing mods and then not have like just crazy mods.
Factorio is a prime example of a game that I have nothing but quality of life mods on.
You have them, but I'm saying there's always going to be people developing like non-quality of
Right.
life mods.
I'm not saying that people aren't going to develop them. I'm just saying that me personally, I don't like game-changing mods. I only like quality of life mods.
But I'm saying
Modding games is not fun to me unless it's a quality of life mod where it literally just makes it a little bit more convenient. I don't know. I might just not be understanding your point, but all I'm saying is that when it comes to mods, I like quality of life.
My point was just on the fact that to get those quality of life mods, there's going to be people making just like random mods.
But what does that have to do with the argument is what I'm confused about.
That like you have to have both. Like you don't necessarily have to have both in your game, but like someone's always going to be making like these mods in relation to your quality of life mods. So mods are a good thing.
I'm hearing you, but I'm still not understanding.
My thing is mods are a good thing.
Did we say mods weren't?
You literally started it saying mods weren't.
No, I said I don't like mods.
But you literally said you do like mods.
I like quality of life mods.
But are those not mods?
Yes, they are. That's why, Wizzy, that's why I doubled back and said, hold on. No, I want to rephrase. I like quality of life, not game changing. That's what the whole conversation turned into, Wizzy, all right? I'm not understanding your point.
I think this is a good time to maybe end this topic.
All right, something I do want to bring up, though. I know we're coming close to an hour, but honestly, with the amount of editing we're going to have to do in this video, we're probably going to have like 40 minutes of content at this point. So, I want to bring up the fact that in my opinion, the MMO genre is moving to mobile gaming. I know that was one of the things we kind of wanted to talk about when we got into the conversation between PC, mobile, and consoles. So, kind of, what are your guys' thoughts on the MMO genre in gaming as it stands? Because honestly, how many new MMOs have been released, and how many of them were actually good? The top MMOs out right now are World of Warcraft, which was released in like what, fucking 2001 or some shit. Black Desert was released in 2014. Final Fantasy 14. Let me see. That was released back in 2010. Like all of these MMOs that are currently popular are old MMOs. They aren't really being released, and in my opinion, the genre is trending more towards mobile gaming. I feel like that's where more of the MMOs kind of are flourishing right now.
My thing with MMOs is I just don't have the time to play MMOs anymore. Like I don't have the capacity to grind for like 8 hours for this fucking MMO. And then a lot of these mobile,
that's exactly not my bag. Would you go on?
A lot of these mobile game MMOs are like pay to win. Like, oh, I got this mobile MMO, and like I want to level up. Oh my god, I gotta pay. It's like $5 for this next level if I wanted to get it quicker. Kind of like Clash of Clans or something. Go ahead, Major.
No, I agree with what you said, and I agree that I think that's the engine that drives MMOs to mobiles. Because, well, first of all, nobody has time to grind nowadays. Like back when MMOs were a big thing and we were all kids, we all spent a shit ton of hours. I mean, I know I did just playing MMOs. But now the target audience, like the kids nowadays, they don't like MMOs, so they need to be targeted towards us. We don't have time to play them, so it's easier to put them on a mobile platform, which you literally have with yourself at all times, no matter what. And because so many mobile games are pay to win or pay to skip content, which I I hard disagree with that method of gameplay. I don't consider skipping gameplay for money actual gameplay. Um
But bro, you could get the legendary sword for only $29.99.
yeah,
See,
yeah, exactly.
I kind of agree, but also disagree a little bit with spending money on MMOs, because I think if there's things that you can do in an MMO that by paying for it, that people can't that you can't get without paying for it, I think that's wrong, right? I think if you're barring someone from getting something just because they're not spending money, it's wrong. But I am okay with the MMOs cutting back, like changing. Let me rephrase that. Like my best example for this is Black Desert, right? You can spend $30 to get an outfit, and that outfit gives you the ability to, when you die, not to lose as much XP or things like that. They also change your character's look, and you have to spend $30 to get that. But what's nice about it is in Black Desert, you can get an outfit. It doesn't look as good, but it gives you all the same benefits of the paid outfit. So you don't have to spend money if you want the benefits of an outfit, but by paying money and supporting the game through paying that money, then you can make your character look even cooler. You get a little bit of an added benefit, but it doesn't actually take away from the integrity of the game.
See,
And I think that's fine.
I think opposite to that. I think there should be no added benefits to things you can buy with money. Things that are gonna promote your like level and play
But it doesn't
gameplay.
promote your play. It just changes the way your character looks,
You said it also provides an in-game benefit.
which you can get without paying.
Yeah, but you can
How
pay to
long
get
does
it
it
sooner than someone else. Is what
No,
you're
you
how
saying.
get
long does it take
it's
for
the
you to
same
grind that?
timeline. Well, technically you can pay to get it sooner if you immediately load into the game and drop $30 on the game. But
Yeah,
just by progressing through the main story, which everyone should do, they give you the outfit for free. It just doesn't look as good as the paid one.
But there's like a lot of things where it's like, oh, you can pay to get this sooner, and you get real in-game benefits from paying, which
And
I
that's
don't
why I
think is
said I
cool.
don't agree with that. But I am okay with, for example, like that outfit where by progressing through the game, you can get that outfit just doing the main story. It takes literally playing through the main story takes like 8 hours. And in that time frame, you get 4 free outfits. Or you can buy one that looks cooler for the same exact benefits. I think that's okay. But I do agree that being able to, get an advantage on someone by paying is not okay.
Yeah, like pay to win MMOs are the worst in my opinion.
well, that's where all of them are headed because let's
See,
let's
I
take
don't
this
mind like
scenario.
the whole Call of Duty thing where it's like you can buy all these cool stuff, or Valorant too. You can buy all this cool stuff, but it's only cosmetic. Like there's no in-game advantage to it. Like, you know what? If you want to spend fucking $800 on some cosmetics, like go for it, man. Like I'm not gonna stop you. Like that's all you. But if you're gonna pay $100 to get like 10 mil in RuneScape, like then it's a problem. Because now you're buying an advantage.
Well, I mean that's kind of an interesting concept as well, and I don't really know how I feel about that aspect of it in the sense that for specifically RuneScape, right? You can buy a bond in RuneScape for $7. It gives you 2 weeks of membership, and
Or
um,
you can use it,
or
sell
you
it.
could sell it. It on one hand, honestly, I think that's kind of a good thing because you're allowing people to get membership benefits without having to spend their actual money. So people maybe that don't have a job, maybe you've got like 15-year-old Billy who's not allowed to work yet and he really wants membership. His parents can't afford it. He can grind out 5-6 million silver or gold in that game, buy a bond, reap the benefits of 2 weeks of membership, get full access to the game, and then people that just kind of want to skip it, for lack of a better phrase, can drop their $200 to supply 15-year-old Billy with a bond that's giving him 2 weeks, And, maybe that's a little bit unfair in the sense that, he has money, so he's allowed to just progress through the game faster than people. But at the same time, with the way the mechanic works in RuneScape, you're giving people the opportunity to experience the full game without them actually having to spend money on the full game.
I will say that runes. It's kind of hard to disagree with that one because I have like been in the point where I was broke and I'm like, I need to buy a bond in RuneScape. I got 70 mil. You know, it's like 7 mil for a bond. I'm gonna go buy one. But on the other hand, I have also bought bonds and fucking got like 100 mil from buying bonds. And it's like, well, I just bought a bunch of in-game money and now I'm like way better.
Honestly, though, like in my opinion, I've bought bonds in RuneScape before too, and I did that just so that I could like buy an upgrade, right? But in my experience, I don't think buying those bonds took away from the integrity of the game. All it did was make me feel unsatisfied with my upgrade. Like I spent $100 to get an upgrade. I instantly bought it, and then I was just like, now what? Like I don't have a goal now. I'm just sitting here. I'm bored and stuff like that. So really, all it did was ruin my own experience by spending money on the game.
Well, I never spent that much on RuneScape, but
yeah, well, I'm a fat loser, so what can I say?
But I mean, that is one of the integrations that I think isn't necessarily as bad because it does give other players the option to like be able to buy their membership. But on the other hand, they could just like, I get it. It funds the economy for the developers to make money, but they do make plenty of money through cosmetics, and they could just sell the bonds on the GE for whatever price, or they could make them an in-game drop.
Yeah, but like having other players being able to sell those bonds, like it actively ruins the economy of the entire game because they're inflating the market into which it slowly makes the game not as enjoyable for everybody because the bonds will only go up in price. Like back when I was playing Aeon, it had the same system in which you could drop this, I don't know what was called, like the 30-day pack, in which you basically unlock the whole game for 30 days. And it started off as, let's say, I don't know, like 10 mils. And over the course of 1 year, people were selling them for 160, 170 mils because the economy was going to shit. So it doesn't just impact, like it's not a set price for which the developers set it up. Like you can go to the, I don't know, to the broker, to the auction house and just get it for a standard price. Players have control over that price and they can inflate it to the point in which the game becomes slowly unplayable.
See, but the way RuneScape found a way around that is they released their Iron Man and hardcore Iron Man modes so that if the economy really is something that you're concerned about, you can play an Iron Man or a hardcore Iron Man where money literally means nothing in the game. Everything that you want to get is obtained yourself. You can't buy it off the market, anything like that, outside of bonds, so that because most people that play in Iron Man, they also have a main account, and so instead of paying for 2 memberships, the Iron Man can buy a bond off the market, use that to fund their thing. So now the player doesn't have to spend $20 a month; it's still $10 a month, but they're using the in-game part, and the market doesn't really impact them because it's an Iron Man mode, and they're not allowed to use the market.
What I will say about the bonds in RuneScape is that they're fairly expensive, and to be able to make that much money in like free to play, it's almost impossible. Like it would take you a very long time.
Whereas that is a difficult thing because unless your account's basically maxed out, the money per hour that you're making is basically just enough to fund your next bond. You spend 2 weeks grinding enough money to fund your next bond, to spend 2 more weeks grinding enough money to fund the bond. It's a pretty vicious cycle with that. But
eventually, if you grind enough like that, like you'll be able to go to PVM and like actually make plenty of money. But like getting that first and second bond, like you might not even make that much because they're like 27 mil right now within like a week of grinding, unless you have like maxed out fishing or something and you fish for like 2 weeks straight.
Really? Let me look up how much a bond is.
I just looked them up.
But are you looking at RS3 or OSRS?
RS3. They're like 23 mil right now.
Yeah, 23 mil in OSRS is a lot, or is a lot more than in RS3.
Yeah.
So right now, a bond in RS or OSRS is 5 mil.
Oh yeah, but that's still a lot in OSRS.
That's a decent amount. With my character's stats in RuneScape, I can make 5 mil in literally less than a day. But building up to that point that you can make 5 mil in a day, it does take a lot of grinding.
Yeah, and once you get there, like it's worth it because then you can go membership, and then you get all that stuff way faster by being a member.
Right. That's the thing is RuneScape is basically a free trial until you get membership, in my opinion. It's kind of like Destiny 2, where until you buy the DLCs, you're basically playing like a 20-day free trial where you get access to the first like 6 areas, and then the game says, now if you really want to have fun, buy this shit. So
Yeah, like on
mean,
RS3, like my main account can make 50 mil a day in
right.
members. But like if I try to make 27 mil in free to play, it would take me fucking ages.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when I played RS3, I never even made 27 mil. I think like the maximum my bank was ever worth was like 8. And I played that game for like 4 years. So
I think my bank's worth like $1 billion right now, and I've never haven't logged on in ages. But that's because I'm a loser who
like
plays.
back to the conversation. You're still hiding some content behind a paywall, which is basically what mobile games tend to do a lot.
Well, the paywall in like MMORPGs that I'm okay with is membership walls. Because yeah, this is a mostly free to play game. Like you can choose to play for free, and like you'll be able to get most of the stuff for free. But if you want to get all the cool stuff, like you got to pay because they're not making it for free. Like they got to get paid somehow.
Let's take World of Warcraft for example. When it came out back in 2001, I'm still a fair believer that was the best system ever for an MMORPG, and I would like to hear your thoughts on that one. Like you pay a set amount each month. You cannot get anything else by paying extra, and every single player needs to play the game as the next guy next to him.
But World of Warcraft, you can only play by paying. Whereas RuneScape, you could play and then earn membership by playing.
Well, I'm not going to start pointing fingers now, but how is that better? Like what is the argument you're making? Like
the argument I'm making is you could play RuneScape and never spend $1 on it. But World of Warcraft, you're going to have to play.
Wait, so how much of the game would you experience actually by playing normally?
Like I said, you can buy a membership with in-game currency. So you can literally enjoy the entire game. The only thing is...
how long would that take you?
Oh, it'd take you a while. But I mean, if you want to get good at any game, it's going to take you a while.
Well, it's not getting good at it. It's actually playing the game. It's two different concepts here.
But you get to play the game up to a certain like point of like content. Like you get most of the content. There's just a paywall for the members zones.
See, here's the thing is I've been turned on and off by both systems, right? So if we're talking World of Warcraft, one of the biggest reasons that I haven't gotten back into it is I do not want to pay a monthly membership fee for it. I don't want to spend $15, $20 every single month to play World of Warcraft, even though there's nothing else that I can buy in the game, right? And that's something that I really enjoyed about Black Desert is that it was a one-time purchase. I can spend more money on the game if I want to. I have, don't get me wrong, I have, but I don't have to. I bought the game for $10 and I can play it every single day without renewing anything if I wanted to, right? And I really like that system. That's one of the reasons that I really enjoy playing Black Desert. It's easy to get back into. If I decide to take an extended break, I can just close the game, not worry about anything. I don't have to worry about canceling a subscription. I don't have to worry about renewing a subscription, nothing like that. It's just I load the game up and I jump right back into it. I think that's really, really nice. But it also comes with the context that I really enjoy the gameplay of Black Desert. Elder Scrolls Online had a similar system, Final Fantasy 14 had a similar system to World of Warcraft, where you had to pay monthly membership fees and stuff like that. And it was fun for a little bit, but because of that monthly membership, again, I just wasn't able to get as into it as I wanted to. Partially because the gameplay kind of sucked, in my opinion. I didn't like the graphics, things like that. But the biggest thing was that monthly membership. But on the flip side of that, RuneScape is a game that I paid a monthly membership for because I didn't want to go through the effort of grinding out enough money to buy a bond. So I didn't mind it, paying that subscription to RuneScape every single month because I absolutely loved the content in that game as well. So I think a lot of my personal opinion when it comes to what games I'm willing to pay for subscription based and what games I'd rather just have a one-time purchase for depends on how good the game itself actually is. Like if Black Desert was a monthly paid subscription, you can bet your ass I would have dropped that game 3 months ago, But because it's not, because it gives me the option to pay for more stuff if I want to, it makes it really easy to play. Whereas RuneScape, I absolutely love the content, and regardless of whether it was a monthly subscription or not, I would still play it.
And even with RuneScape, there's a lot of really great content where you don't have to pay anything.
Right. So for me, is both systems have turned me on and turned me off. It really depends on, for me, whether the game's actually enjoyable and worth spending that money on.
Rebuttal. I think you killed Major with that one.
Yeah.
No, really.
He just evaporated.
His mind exploded. Go ahead, Major. Sorry.
No, like if it comes to personal preference, I mean, you said it yourself. Like, it's about enjoying the game, but what we were discussing is the systems. Are they fair, and is the genre going to the mobile? And on that, I'm still holding strong to my argument that getting MMORPGs behind paywalls and moving them over to mobiles is a way worse thing to approach the whole MMO genre. So if it comes to what game do I enjoy, then you need to imagine all of them in a similar manner. Like you said yourself, if Black Desert Online had a monthly subscription, you wouldn't touch that. If OSRS would have a monthly subscription, you would still play it. Then that means that you truly actually enjoy OSRS. But because Black Desert gives you that entry level that you can achieve without paying, I mean, you still pay, but only once, but you don't have to pay a monthly subscription. That's what draws you to it. And that's what the most mobile games do. So if you ask me, Black Desert is a mobile game played on PC at this point.
Well, I don't know. Korean MMOs are always super microtransaction-y, which is a huge turnoff. Most people will agree with you that microtransactions in MMOs are really not healthy systems. And to some extent, I can kind of understand it. But again, I still stand by the argument that as long as you're not getting an unfair advantage over somebody else with the microtransactions, then it's fair. I mean, like Wizzy said, or I don't know if he said specifically this, but in Valorant, right, you can buy a skin for a weapon. Doesn't give you any sort of advantage over the other player. It just makes it look cool. They give you the option. It's not required. And I think that's a fair system. In Black Desert, you can buy costumes. They make you look cooler. They're not necessary. They don't give you an advantage over another player because you can get that same outfit for free. So it's kind of...
I mean, you did say it gives you a slight advantage over the free one.
But he said it's a cosmetic thing, but you get a slight advantage if you buy it immediately.
No, wait,
don't play the campaign.
Hold on. When you said exactly these words, you can get this cosmetic for X amount of dollars, or you can get it by playing free throughout the game, and there is no difference between them except the cosmetic. and a slight benefit.
But they both have the benefit.
Well,
but
if I said it like that, then I apologize. I retract that statement. Regardless, though,
we
there
had
is
like a
no
whole 10-minute
difference.
conversation about
The,
this.
the only difference between the two outfits is, first of all, that there's a cosmetic difference. In my opinion, the paid outfits look better than the free ones. And the other one is technically you can get it sooner than somebody that doesn't buy it, because like I said, the free outfit comes with the connotation that you play through the storyline. The storyline does not take long. Like I said, it's about an 8-hour storyline to play all the way through. And through that, it's only about 2 hours before you get your first outfit. So there is that benefit in the sense that you can get it 2 hours before the other player, but really that's not a big difference.
So there are no stat differences between the items.
As far as stats, no. They are the exact same item, just cosmetically different.
All right.
All right, everyone. That's all the time we have for today. For more information, check out the links in the descriptions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
That was a terrible place to end the podcast, Wizzy.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't ready for that.
Hashtag,
Yeah, no.
this is all edited out. But honestly, I'm hot.
I don't know if I need to hear that.
Well, I mean, it's just hot in my room because I don't have my fans on to get good
Okay.
audio quality. Anyways, continue.
Well, it's kind of hard to pick back up where we just left off, Wizzy. You kind of fucking
Yeah.
you threw a curveball at us with that one.
And this is where we end the podcast. Bye.
Is
But,
this
like,
not where we?
the biggest feedback I've gotten on all of our podcasts is our endings have not been natural, and then you just throw the most unnatural ending we've had so far just right into the middle of the fucking fray.
I mean, it's okay. I added a cue marker so I know where to edit this part out. So just pick it back up.
Yeah, let's just pick
How
it
can
back
we
up.
pick it back up? I literally have no idea what we were saying.
Yeah, we've already moved past it. Wizzy, now we have to end the podcast with that shit. You know what? Fucking include this part. Don't even edit this part out. Let everyone know that because of Wizzy, the ending of this podcast was awful.
This is 100% edited out. Well, I'm
God
not
damn
gonna
it.
make it look like it was my fault that the podcast ends shitty.
How the fuck do we end it?
Oh my god. So ultimately, the as far as the outfit system goes in Black Desert, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of things in Black Desert that do give you an unfair advantage, and I still do disagree with it. That doesn't mean I don't find the game fun, but I think that as far as like the outfit system goes in Black Desert, it's pretty fair, and that's the kind of content that I'm comfortable with being included in a game.
I can agree with that. Like, as long as it doesn't give you a pay to win advantage, I think just cosmetics. I think we can all agree that if somebody actually spends money for cosmetics and they don't get an unfair advantage because of them, then I mean it's just on the player. It doesn't ruin the experience. I mean, I can agree with that.
Yeah,
Right.
same here.
And I can also agree that like the fact that they're in a lot of like MMO games, the fact that you're able to, you know, sell these things on the market, it does give you a little bit of an unfair advantage. But again, I think RuneScape kind of handled that part pretty well in the sense that you do have the option to just not have to worry about the market and make it so that everything you achieve, you did truly achieve, as opposed to pay to winning it in. I think that's okay. As far as the bonds go, I think it's like hit or miss. I think like you can make the argument that it takes away from the integrity of the game, but I also think that you can make the argument that by adding them, it builds the experience for players that can't afford it. So I think you kind of have to take the microtransactions that are put into MMOs in context, like really heavily, as to exactly what benefits you're exchanging for real money. And as far as them moving over to mobile, to be honest, I think I agree with you guys in the sense that it's the reason they're moving over to mobile is because of the time constraints that people have. the fact that people aren't able to sit at their computer for 9 hours a day. I mean, people tell me all the fucking time to play Black Desert efficiently is a full-time job. You are sitting there and you have to dedicate 9 hours a day to playing the game. And
I
if
think
you don't do that,
dedicating
you're
more.
fucked.
And Tony does.
I'm
Listen.
100% sure you're dedicating more than 9 hours a day.
No. I'm actually only dedicating like 20, 24.
That sounds right.
But on the regards to what gaming where we like to play games, I think we can all agree that it's definitely PC,
PC Master Race.
desktop, not laptop.
I'm gonna be honest. I just wanted to stir you up, guys, and say that that consoles are good. I couldn't bring myself to be the mobile guardian because I hate mobile gaming. But everybody knows that PC is the best Master Race get fucked consoles, mobiles as well.
Yeah, no, I agree that PC, like, if I really want to experience and have fun with a game, I'm going to be playing it on the computer. With that being said, though, there are some fun mobile games out there, but I'm only playing them for 2 hours at most before I fall asleep, just as something to, like, numb my mind, right? I'm not playing it because I want to be efficient or win or anything like that. I'm literally playing it as something mind-numbing, which is why the most fun mobile games are shit like fucking Candy Crush, where you literally just don't have to think. You turn your brain off until you're ready to fall asleep.
You know what I think PC gaming falls off short though when it comes to games? Board games. I think
That's some fun
those are
board
the
games.
only games. I mean, I think I mean, let me speak for myself. I can only truly experience fun in board games when I'm physically next to somebody, like when we're playing on an actual board.
Yo,
But
I
I feel like
100% agree.
yeah, it's really hard to experience that same fun
I
like
like
over
playing
PC.
PC board games.
I just I like looking the motherfucker in the eyes when I say pay me
Yeah,
$3,000 for landing on my property. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's right. That's
Give
right.
me
You don't
my
get any
money,
breaks today. I
motherfucker.
got 2 hotels on this mother. You know, like,
So can we all
You're
agree
going to
board games
jail.
Master Race?
board games are probably the best way to game, to be
Yeah,
honest.
Yeah, board games only. Like
All right.
that's the conclusion.
That's the conclusion of our podcast. That's all the time we have for today. For more information, check out the links in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye.